Hello everyone, it's Kiki and welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be using polymer clay again because I have to remake this. This is also made out of polymer clay. I made this very quickly and very shoddily last year for my brother's cosplay. And he's going as No Face again for ZenkaiCon, and so you can see that it is a little bit of a mess. And a little wobbly and wibbly and not good. So I need to remake it. I have a general idea of how I'm going to try to make it better, and I really hope it works because ZenkaiCon is fast approaching. This video will be coming up after ZenkaiCon. I am filming this, what is today's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I have 3 days till ZenkaiCon. It's pretty fun. I should get started now. So I started by taking the old mask and using, I couldn't find straight up masking tape, but I could find painter's tape, and it generally worked just as well. It didn't have as much of a stick as I would have liked, but I used the mixture of the thin and thick armature wire that I had in order to make a base shape, and then added a few extra supports as well. But the reason for this was also to give myself hook points, because one of the flaws of the last mask is we just glued hooks on and the clay ended up giving out. So this time the hooks are embedded into it and around wire. So that kept them from coming out and keeping the clay from breaking as well. The other idea of making the base was to try and make it lighter. It honestly ended up being slightly heavier just because I ended up making it slightly bigger. Which was okay because, as I said, I did better anchor points for where the ties to keep it on his head would be. I got myself a pasta maker so that everything would be even and such. The only problem I had was the clay is fairly old, so it breaks really easily. So me getting the pasta clay to the thickness and size and shape I wanted took forever, so I didn't actually record that because I figured it would be kind of boring to just watch me roll it through the pasta maker for freaking ever. But I made it work, and it took a little bit of extra finagling and piecemealing together to get it all covered up. I had thought about just leaving the inside, just doing the edge, but I'm like, no, that'll probably come off if I just do that. So I did the entire inside as well with the clay, which is probably one of the things that made it heavier than I initially planned. Like, at this stage right here, it's pretty much exactly the same size as the other one. But then I add a bit, you'll see in a bit, that I add slight more of an edge on the sides, because one of the problems he was having last year was it wasn't deep enough so you could see in behind the mask and between where the cloth was. So I tried to fix that this year, and it worked fairly well, but my saran wrap ended up getting cut and coming off my desk. But at the same time ended up, because of how it ended up cooking, it ended up sort of drooping a little bit, so it made it look extra chubby. Also, where I placed the armature wire sort of limited where I could put the eyes and the mouth, so that also ended up leading into a more of a chubby look. I didn't think about it till afterwards, after I'd already cut the mouth hole out, but I should have put it below the support wire instead of above the support wire. That would have helped nullify that chubby look. Not a lot, but a little bit at least. And then, you know, I cut the holes out and I had to wait for my brother to come home from work, so I'm like, can you see out of this? And then I had to do adjustments on the eye hole so that he was actually able to see. And after about 4 adjustments, it was ready to bake and then paint. After I finished with the mask, I started working on new gold for him. Last year I used the clay to create the gold, but I ended up using the same varnish that I used on the mask. The old mask, as you can see, it's covered in crud. And so they were kind of useless because they were just sticking together and stuff. So I got little rocks, like actual rocks, and painted those. You can see the metallic paint over on the side there. I didn't actually record any of it just because it was me painting rocks and I didn't think that would be very interesting. And I kept bumping the camera. Like, I started trying to record it, but I kept hitting the camera and I didn't want it to fall over because it's actually my dad's, not mine. So I didn't actually record that. Or at least not all of it. I recorded like 2 minutes of it. But I didn't think that was worth putting in here. When I was doing the eyes, I was trying to use like the clay tools to get through the masking tape. And it kind of worked, but it didn't, so I grabbed one of my knives and that didn't really work either. And then I remembered I just bought an X-Acto knife thing. So I was using it and found out that they didn't give a cap for it, first off. So it's just an open blade. And second, that sucker is sharp. Like, holy, that just kind of went like butter through the masking tape and clay. I'm like, well then, we're going to make sure we're extra super careful with this. And then I did everything white, and then I went over the inside of the mouth and the eyes with black to help with darkening that area around his eyes and mouth when he puts it on. On the last one, we had put like a see-through mesh, like a almost tulle, to add to that, but he had a little bit of extra trouble seeing just because the eye holes themselves limited him, and then we put this black over his eyes as well, so I just didn't bother with it this year. But you can see where I have the mouth hole, and there's like the little ridge there. After I did it, I was like, I should have put it below the ridge. That would have made the face a little bit longer, not so squished, and would have allowed those bottom triangles to be longer like they actually are on No Face. I mean, I still could have made them longer on here in general, but I mean, it is kind of cute with how it turned out with the squishy chubby face. But yeah, that's roughly it. It's almost done. See you in the end.
Alright, so this is going to be a really quick end thing because I have to start packing for ZenkaiCon. It's done! And I didn't hurt it. But it's all done. And compare. I'm like out of breath because I just rushed to finish the cloth bit it's really sticky, to go with this. And you know, if he goes into the face again, he'll probably get a new mask because this one looks chubby. And I also made you know, some gold to go with it. And yeah, so this is my real quick sign off. I'm out of breath because I am like, oh my god. But yeah, join me for art on Sundays and Wednesdays, and I hope to see you around. Subscribe, like, I have to go pack now. Bye.